Hi everybody, it's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and it is Sunday evening. It's about 8, somewhere around 8:15. I can't see a clock. I think I'm around, about on time. It's 8:15 on Sunday, and it is the 1st of December. So we are now in Advent. And if you're coming in on the live, welcome. A big welcome to all of those who are coming in on the live. And if you're on the replay, do put replay in the comments, and then I will be able to see and catch up with you at some stage. So I can see people just starting to come in now. You will see that I am not at home. Hello, Kath. Nice to see you. Hello, Heather. Lovely to see you. So I may not do such a long live stream today. I am away from home, and I've been away for some while. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. Hi, Lynn, live and chilling. I am chilling, but I'm also supporting family members. So the reason I'm away from home and I came away a bit unexpectedly was to do some supporting of family members. That's what we all do when we need it. I'm not going to go into details, but it has been very much appreciated. So I am here. I don't know how long I'm here for. I didn't know that I was coming. I've been accosted by an elf. I have been accosted by an elf. You noticed, Kath. It is Advent. It's when the naughty elves come. I am with family members, and hello, Bob. Nice to see you coming in. Richard as well. Oh, you meant you were chilling. Well, I'm chilling as well, Richard. And so I hope I've gone live on Facebook as well. I can only see YouTube coming in at the moment. Can somebody check? Hi, Shane. I'm doing all right, thank you. So just can somebody see if it's gone live on Facebook as well? So Bob is saying good morning. So where are you coming in from, Bob? Because you're obviously not in the UK, because here in the UK it's not morning, it's evening. It's it's about 20 past 8 in the evening here, and we've just had the Strictly Dancing results come on. And any of you watching? Oh, there we are. Thank you, Heather. I can always rely on my wonderful community here to check things out for me. It's great. I don't have to do all that checking myself. And the thing is, I've only got I'm on my iPhone here, and some of you will know that I am using my son's StreamYard account, and so I can only go live when he gives me the code, and so I have to log in. He has to give me the code within a short space of time, otherwise the code dies. Oh, Bob's in Sydney. Hi, Sydney. Oh no, Bob is in Sydney. Nice to have you coming in from Australia. Excellent. Ask and you shall receive, says Heather. That's wonderful. Richard also has checked that I'm live on Facebook as well as YouTube. It's just that usually we have Facebook people come in first, but this time it was all YouTubers coming in, and it doesn't matter. It's whatever works for any of you. Thank you. Kath is tagging some of the other folk to see if they'll pop in. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, maybe they'll watch the replay. Anyway, lovely to have some of you here. And, I keep getting people messaging me and saying, oh, you haven't optimized your accounts and I can help you to get millions and thousands of viewers and all that. I don't want millions and thousands of viewers. I am actually very happy with all of you lovely people who come in and we can have a decent conversation. Imagine what the conversation would be like if I had millions of viewers. We would never see the comments. No, I haven't been to Sydney, Bob. I've never been to Australia. I should do, because I've got family over there. I've got 2 nephews and their families who live in Australia. I've got an uncle. My uncle is in his 90s. He emigrated to Australia when my cousins were little. They're younger than me, my cousins, but when they were little, he emigrated. And he's still there with my auntie in their 90s. I'm the only member of my family who hasn't been to Australia, and I was considering it. And then I decided that, I was considering it possibly next year, but I've decided actually I'm not sure if I want to make that long journey. I would love it, but you know, without the long journey. So maybe that's not going to happen. So I have a naughty elf here. I know I will love it, Bob. I've actually booked. I mean, I live it through the eyes of and the cameras of my family who are out there. Richard's saying he has 2 weeks at the end of November 2000. Richard's been out there, so that's lovely. Shane's reminding me that the Christmas tractor run on the Isle of Wight is this coming up Saturday. And Richard's telling me he did a bridge climb. So did you do the bridge climb in Australia? I suppose that's what you were talking about, Richard. Or did you do that and that's nothing to do with Australia? I don't know. I think it's probably to do with Australia. Anyway, folks, yes, I'm away. I'm here. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to be here. I'm here for as long as I am needed. And the upshot of that was I came away rather quickly and I haven't actually packed very many clothes. It was a bit of a scramble at the last minute, and I had some wonderful friends who helped me get ready and go. Hi Tracy coming in on Facebook. Tracy, hurry on. So I came away, I think it was on Monday. I lose track of the time, and I was booked on came away on Monday evening. Nice little elf, yes. He's a bit naughty. Anyway, I came away from home. Home for me is the Isle of Wight, and my friends came and helped me and gave me a taxi ride. They were my taxi, and sorry, I just had a mental block there. So they were my taxi, and we only just made it in time for the hovercraft. So it was a 18:30. It's 6:30 in the evening hovercraft. I don't normally travel in the evening, and I think next time I might not travel in the evening again because the passenger assist is not so good in the evening. There's not the staff about, and I'll tell you what happened. But in our scrabble to get to the hovercraft, we were coming down the road and there's a set of traffic lights, and if it goes red in our direction, it then goes green for the people opposite, then green for the people this way, and then green for us. So I said to my driver, oh, take this road here, let's go down this road and we can miss the traffic light road out. Oh, what is a hovercraft? Right, Bob wants to know what a hovercraft is. A hovercraft is a vehicle that hovers on top of the water. It doesn't go right in the water, it hovers. Can anybody describe it better for Bob? But anyway, that's how I'm describing it. Susan's in now. She's coming in from Facebook. Corrie's in as well. She's thanking Kath for tagging her. So let's have a look. So yeah, there we go. That's it. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Hi, Ailey. Ailey's coming in. She's saying happy 1st of December. Yeah, yes. So it hovers only just on the water. So it has, when you get on the hover, and then when it starts, it inflates this big. It has like a big rubber. Well, I don't know if it's rubber, but a rubber skirt. Right, I think they call it a skirt. Right round the vehicle, and it raises it up so it bobs along on top of the waves. So there we go. I think we might have described that to Bob. Bob, when you're not watching this, just Google hovercraft and then you'll see what it looks like, because I can't describe it here. I haven't got one, and I haven't got a piece of paper I can draw one on, and you wouldn't recognize it anyway. So Richard says has made new friends, including a 100-year-old lady. Yes, bridge climb Sydney Harbour Bridge. Okay, so who's made new friends? You've made new friends, including a 100-year-old lady. I think that's you. So yeah, yes, like a rubber ring on the bottom of a vehicle. Oh, so Susan's putting there Hover Travel Limited. If you Google Hover Travel Limited, Bob, you will find out you know, all about our hovers. And the hovers come in to Ryde. I live in Ryde on the Isle of Wight, and that's where the hovers go from on the island, and then they go across to South Sea, which is just near Portsmouth. Hovercraft, Bob, is a vehicle that rides waves on a cushioned air rubber skirt. There we go. That's Richard's explanation. And Susan's saying that should be a link to the company, I think. Well done. Yes, so that is the company, Hover Travel. It's not, I don't think it's an interactive link, is it? But that's the name of the Hover Travel company. So anyway, so, you know, the lights turned against it. Yeah, well done, Bob. Thank you. Every day's a school day and you'll learn new things all the time. I learn new things all the time, so it's amazing. And this community is amazing, where we all share lots of different news with each other. Yes, later when you're not watching. That's a good idea, Bob. So anyway, you know, there we were dashing to the hovercraft, came to the traffic lights that turned red in our way. So rather than wait for the traffic lights to change again, I said to the driver, nip down this road and you will miss the traffic lights out. But what I hadn't seen, that's it, Shane's saying hovercraft flies over the water. Yes, just above the water, that's right. It hovers and flies above the water. So what I hadn't seen, and what the driver hadn't seen, as we turned the corner to go down this road, to cut the corner off because we were late and in danger of me missing the hovercraft, was that the road, there was a road closed sign, but it had fallen over and we didn't see it. So instead of being able to cut the corner off, we went down this road to cut the corner off, and then we couldn't get right through because the road was closed. So driver had to do a quick U-turn, come out and go along to the traffic lights. And by the time we got to the traffic lights, they went green in our favour. So I don't think we lost anything by going down that side road. I think maybe we were just okay. Shane's saying like a hover petrol fly mower. Everybody's trying to describe a hovercraft for Bob, and I think you all get 10 out of 10 for effort. So excellent. Let me just go back and see the comments. So Ailey's saying no, but on a rubber undercarriage. Yes, it's got an undercarriage. The rubber part of the hovercraft is the undercarriage. They do call it, I think they call it a skirt though. Right, so Ailey's saying you love the elf and you also love my Christmas Santa scarf. It's not my Christmas Santa scarf. I came away without any of my scarves, without it. All I had was this red bow. I haven't got any of my funny hats or ears or anything like that. I came away in such a rush. I didn't even have a scarf. So I just said to my daughter just now, have you got a Christmas scarf I can wear for my broadcast? And then I decided that the elf came with me, you know, this naughty elf, but he's being quite good at the moment, so we'll let him stay there. And Richard's saying, his friend Joe is in hospital. You made friends like me and Yvonne. That's right. Yes. So we're always making friends, aren't there? And Susan's saying there's so many roadworks at the moment. It's mental. Well, it was definitely mental that day. And literally, I think we arrived at the hoverport. Fortunately, we were able to park quite near the hover, but because the hover was late coming in, as we drove in to get me and all my bags out of the car, there were still pedestrians walking where we wanted to park. But my driver managed to park quickly, very near the terminal door, and the staff could see me getting out of the car. They could see that I wanted to get on the hover, and they said, "Don't worry." It was by now about 6:29 for a 6:30 departure, and they said, "Don't worry, don't rush. It's okay. You'll get on it." And you have to. So I had to show my my phone in the car. I had got up the ticket on my phone, but actually I hadn't got the right bit of the ticket. I'd just shown the itinerary, and they said, "No, we need to see the ticket." And so we had to scrabble on the phone to find the ticket bit and show them the ticket, so they knew that I actually had a ticket to get on the hovercraft. And then so then you have to go in through the building and out of the building across the apron. They call it an apron where the hovercraft comes in. So I had to walk across the apron, and then there's a ramp up into the hovercraft. And once I was there, once I was in sight of that, I knew I was okay. And of course, I got connecting trains, hadn't I? And it was evening. In the daytime, if I miss it, I'm not so fussed, because then I could catch up, you know, on the next ones. But at evening time, I wasn't going to get to my destination till about 9:30. It was only a 3-hour journey. Sometimes it takes 4 to do the same journey. It was only a 3-hour journey, and I did get the cheapest ticket and the quickest journey, which was good. When I was trying to book it, it was coming up more expensive than usual, and when I realized why, I changed it, because it was showing, asking you if you had a rail card, and I put in that I'd got a rail card, but it obviously hadn't clicked through, because it was telling me it was about £20 more than I usually pay. And so I thought, no, I don't want to do that, but I do need to go. So I thought, oh, maybe it's because I'm booking late, you know, it's only tomorrow that I'm going, I think, or whenever I booked. And so I've forgotten my thread. I lost my thread there. But anyway, I realized that it hadn't actually registered my I've got a disability, I've got a disabled rail card, which takes it down. So when I did it again, it went back to the price that I usually pay. And I've still got 2 claims to do, because, you know, when I travel, always have shenanigans, and I often get delayed. And if I get delayed more than an hour, I get a full refund. If I get delayed a quarter of an hour onwards, I get a partial refund. So I've still got a claim to do for a full refund for the previous trip I did. And then this one coming this way was half an hour late, so I will get a partial refund like this. So Richard's saying Joe had a lovely accessible shower with Nivea goodies brought in for her by granddaughter, her new 100-year-old friend. But like how you and Yvonne met. So Yvonne and I met. Oh, that's right. Yvonne and I met in the canteen at the hospital. So and I don't know if Yvonne's in the broadcast, but yes, we met in the canteen, and we've been very good friends ever since then. Ailey's saying, do I remember the traffic light hats? Red was for babies more in danger. Absolutely, yes. So talking of traffic lights, which we were, because they were, you know, going against us. Ailey's a knitter. She knits lots of things, and amongst some of the things she knits are hats for hospitals, and they have traffic light hats. And I was telling somebody this the other day, and they looked at me and what do you mean by traffic light hats? Well, you knit a white hat. Well, I think mostly they're white hats, and you put a bubble on it. You either put a red one or a green one or a yellow or amber one. And the point being that the babies with the red hats on are the ones that's babies are more in danger. This is in the Prem baby unit, and they know that if a baby's got a hat with a red bubble on, that baby is more likely to need attention than the others. What is knitting? Knitting, right? Okay, knitting is, well, all these things I have knitted. And knitting is with 2 needles, and I haven't got the knitting needles are downstairs, but I have needles, 2 long needles, and I have a ball of wool, and I wrap it round and I knit with it. So that's what's knitting, and it has a K at the front. It's got a silent K, so it's KNITTING. And so these are all knitted. So I will knit these things up. Look, this is knitting. And then when I take it off the stitches, cast it off, I sew them up, and this is knitting. All right. And so all these items that I'm going to show you are knitted, and I am a knitter and have been ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I think you would say. And I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Lots of my viewers know what I've been knitting because they watch my social media pages. But I'm going to just show you. I'm going to do a little thing like this. I'm just going to turn. No, I don't make my own clothes. I make a lot of toys and things, or I make hats and scarves. I used to make my own clothes years ago, but not now. I don't do that. I do. So look. All these things are knitted. All these little snowmen have knitted. So these snowmen have got inside, whoops, let me show you. Inside, they've got a chocolate orange. Look, a Terry's chocolate orange. There we go. And don't look at the evidence of this one. Some of you know that I'm doing a Slimming World journey, and let's wait a minute. Let's just turn you back again. And I did go to Slimming World this week here. I missed my own Slimming World because I was away, but Slimming World is an organisation where if you've got your card, you can log in at any group, any Slimming World group. So I logged in here near where I am. My daughter took me to the Slimming World group locally, and this week I lost 3 pounds. I was so excited, and that is with eating some chocolate orange, because these chocolate orange segments, look, each one of these segments, each one of those is what they call 2 sins, and I can have up to 15 sins a day. So if I want to have chocolate as my sins, then I have to count each one of those too. Susan's saying, well done, me. Yes, and you know what? My poor daughter, she's been struggling. She was the one who inspired me to lose the weight. So she started first, and then I was doing it. And then I was yo-yoing. My weight was yo-yoing, and I wasn't doing very well, and she encouraged me. And then I managed to crack it and, you know, really get my head totally around it. And then unfortunately, things are happening that, you know, sometimes it's not easy to take off weight when you've got things going on in life, or you haven't got your head around it. And so I felt a bit. I loved the fact that I took off 3 pounds. My daughter took off weight this week, but I won't say she only took off 2.5 pounds, because 2.5 pounds is good. But wasn't it? Hello, Gaz. Gaz is coming in there as well. But wasn't it? I wish she'd had the bigger weight loss than me this week, because that would have been a nicer thing. But I had, you know, I got 3 pounds off. She's helping me, and we're helping each other. We're inspiring each other to get the weight off. So I've lost altogether now, and I started about a year ago. So I have lost 3 pounds, no, 3 stone, about 3 stone 5 pounds, I think now. I haven't got the book here. I haven't got it in front of me, but that, you know, I'm quite happy with that. So let's have a look. So Heather's saying she's happy and proud of my consistency. Thank you. But we are trying to inspire each other. Bob's saying, are these hats? They're like, they're cozies. They're chocolate orange cozies. And there's another one. This is an elf with another chocolate orange in. So people over here, they like to have their chocolate oranges in cozies, and they give them as gifts. That's the idea, Bob. So wait a minute, let's have a look. Gold star for doing well with slimming. Thank you. And Bob saying, I'm doing great. When you lose weight, it's more easy to breathe. It's much easier to breathe. And Susan saying, well done to me and my daughter for the joint weight loss. It is amazing. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm beginning to find it much easier than I did this time last year, and I easier breathing. It's easier on my knees. I've got I had my right leg used to swell badly. I still don't walk very well. You know, that's something that is with me, but my leg doesn't swell like it used to, so that's jolly good. Heather's saying she has a chocolate orange, but yours only comes in a box, not a cutie. Well, ours do come. They do come in box. When you buy them in the shop, they do have a box around them, but I take the boxes off and get rid of the boxes, recycle the boxes, and then put all these little hats on. So are you in for a nice surprise? Because look, I have a whole box of them down here. Look. So can you see? Whoops, can you see? Look, I've got, let me lift them up and show you. Are your elves on the good step? Well, these ones are. So look, here's a little, there's a little elf, and there's another little elf. And the reason I'm doing these is my grandchildren need to do some fundraising for something next year. And my daughter thought it would be a very good idea if Granny made the chocolate orange covers and before Christmas, and then people ordered them, and the children could sell them. I've certainly been very busy. I have. Do I send to Australia? Well, I could, but I don't know what the postage would be. I wouldn't send the chocolate orange to Australia because it'd make the postage too heavy. We'll have to see about that. I don't know, Bob. I prefer to do it locally because it's much easier for me. But there we go. So when I was here at my daughter's a few weeks ago, I brought my knitting with me, and I started knitting some of these up, and then they were all lined up on the sofa. And so I tried to do a variety of different ones. So we've got let me show you. So we had a total, that one hasn't got its chocolate orange in it. Some of them haven't got the oranges in yet. There's a panda, a chocolate orange. There's a mouse with a Christmas hat on. There's a Christmas hat with a bell on. Here's a Christmas pudding. Got lots of Christmas puddings. There's a bobble hat. There's a bauble with some mistletoe on the top. Look, a Christmas bauble. There's a mince pie. Anybody fancy a mince pie? There's another bobble hat. There's a robin, and then some people saw the pictures of the robin. So my daughter photographed all of these, and then put a picture. She made a collage with them, and then they started sharing them amongst their friends and acquaintances, and that's when the orders started coming in. Now somebody saw this in the picture, and I think they thought it was a penguin. It doesn't matter. I don't care what they think it is, as long as they put the orders in. So the robin, somebody said, oh, they wanted a penguin. I said, well, that's all right. I can make a penguin. So what is a mince pie? Oh, wow, Bob. Right, a mince pie is this is a real education. A mince pie is this is what we call a mince pie. So mincemeat, folks, can you tell me what's in mincemeat? It's a mixture of fruit and spices and herbs. It's not that sort of mincemeat. Mincemeat, as in a mince pie, is not meat, is it? We have mincemeat that we put in. We mince meat and put it in a pie. That's a savoury thing, as Shane is suggesting, meat. But a mince pie is sweet, and we have them at Christmas. And again, if you look up mince pie, and it's not M-I-N-T-S, it's M-I-N-C-E, mince pie. So if you Google mince pie after the broadcast, sweet mince. That's right, Hazel coming in there for Australia as well. So Australia, Hazel and Bob both in Australia. Heather's saying mincemeat is a combination of dried fruits, warming spices, sugars, nuts, distilled spirits. And that's mincemeat, and then they put it in a pastry. So this would be a pastry, but it's not. It's wool. Obviously, I've knitted it. But if it was, an edible mince pie, that would all be pastry. And then I've just put some holly on the top. Obviously, you wouldn't eat the holly or the berry either. Actually, on the Isle of Wight, we have a company called Bright Bulb, and they make websites and they do all that sort of thing. And I've watched them grow from a tiny little company to become an award-winning company where they don't just serve people on the Isle of Wight, they serve lots of people all over, and they've just won a lot of awards. But what I like about them, they're a fun company, and some years ago they started a fundraiser, and it's called a mince pie marathon. And what they do is get companies say, yes, you can eat, yes, you can. No, I can't really eat it because it's made of wool. But if it was made, this is a wool copy of what you would make if it wasn't knitted. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, so this mince pie marathon, what Matt and his team do, they get businesses around the Isle of Wight to sponsor mince pies, right? So they say, oh well, we want 50 mince pies, and they will pay for the mince pies, and they have all these orders for mince pies, and everybody's trying to outdo everybody to get to order the most mince pies, but they have to pay for them. And yes, you do get a lot of extra fiber if you eat this, because this is fiber, but not the sort of fiber you eat, Heather. So anyway, so the mince pie marathon is raising a lot of money for the Brainy, do they call it the Brainy Bunch? Whatever the charity on the Isle of Wight is to do with brain tumours, set up by Mark and Kathy Grimes. Mark was a fireman who had a brain tumour, and there wasn't the help on the Isle of Wight. There's a national brain tumour charity, but there was no help on the island for people with brain tumours or any brain issues. And so Kath and Mark set the charity up years ago, and I remember going and live streaming. They were doing a 24-hour, because he was a fireman, lots of the firemen got involved, and they did a 24-hour ladder climb. So they set up on the seafront, and they had a construction with ladders. They were going up ladders and coming down Brainy Bunch, thank you, Susan. And they were going up ladders and down ladders for 24 hours, and people were sponsoring them to kickstart the charity off. And I know more than one person on the island who's had a brain tumour and been well served by this organisation that they don't only support the people with the brain tumours, they support the families as well, because of course it's not just the person themselves. White Brainy Bunch. Thank you, Kath. That's brilliant. Between you, you're giving me all the answers I need. So anyway, I think that, this would be a fun way of, I think I ought to donate some of these to them, but I don't know that I'm going to be back on the island in time for the charity thing, because I don't know when I'm going back. Anyway, so the upshot of all this was that my daughter started showing out the pictures of these, and my granddaughter started showing them to their teachers and things, and so the orders have been flooding in. Hence why there's lots of Christmas puddings, there's lots of snowmen. The snowmen and the Christmas puddings seem to be the most popular at the moment. But then, of course, somebody wanted penguins, so I made penguins, right? And but nothing is ever simple, is it? So I changed the colour of the robin and made it into a penguin, and the request was a penguin with blue and white stripes, scarf and hat. 2. So as you see, I made 2. But on Friday, my granddaughter came home and said they've changed the order. Now, why wouldn't they? Of course they changed the order, because and the thing was, when I did these, I've come away without a lot of wool. Because I came away in such a dash, I have some wool with me, but I don't have a lot of wool. I know there are other wool shops around, and we can do something about it. And my grandchildren do have a little bit of wool, but in order to do the blue and both the same, because they wanted them matching, I had a small ball of wool that had come. I had bought a magazine, and it had a knitting set with the magazine. I'm just looking to see if it's on there. No, it's not. But I bought a magazine, and it had a set of knitting needles and a crochet hook and a pack of wool to go with it. And in the pack of wool was some blue, right? Because they wanted blue and white. So that was the blue I used. And I did the first one. Managed to find a bit of yellow wool in my grandchildren's kit that I'd given them before. Thank you, Kath. As she's saying, they're lovely. And then when I was knitting the second one, I started knitting it, and I thought, you know what? I don't think I'm going to have enough blue wool. So I thought, right, okay, let's make the hat. So we've got matching hats. And then what I could have done was I could have undone one scarf and put more white on the scarf and less blue, but make them match. I would have had to undo one to make, because you can't undo a bit of it because it's all stripy. So I could have made it white a big white stripe and then a little blue stripe, and I could have done it so I had enough wool to match. I thought, well, let's start it and see. And do you know what? I did have enough wool, and when I'd finished, I had about that much blue wool left. Talk about flying by the seat of my pants. It was just about that much. So, and that bit I used for sewing up some of the scarf, which I can sew up with white or anything. It didn't matter. So, phew. But guess what? On Friday, yeah, they're twin penguin, but on Friday, my granddaughter came home and said, they've changed the order. They don't want them like this anymore. So I thought, well, I can take these hats and scarves off, or I can make 2 new snowmen, penguins, and put the hats and scarves on. So I have got two new penguins well on their way. But what they want is one they've shown me a red. Oh no, says Heather. Absolutely, yes. It's shenanigans. Even when I'm not traveling, I get shenanigans. So what I had to do, so she showed me a picture of the scarf. So it's obviously some sort of football scarf. It's some club. I don't know which club it is, but it's got blue, a lot of blue, a little bit of white, a little bit of red, a little bit of white, and then a lot of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of white, a little bit of red, a little bit of white, a lot of blue. So we now, my granddaughter's doing maths as A-level, which is pretty good, because I said, come on, we've got to do the numbers. We've got to now work out, because on these scarves, it was just two blue rows, 2 white rows, 2, 2, 2, 2 all the way along, and then you just finish. You start on a blue one and you finish on a blue one. So that was easy peasy. That maths is easy. When you've then got a pattern that's big, little, big, you got to work out. So we worked out on this pattern how many rows were in the whole pattern of this scarf. So let's show you. Look, there's the scarf. I've taken. So how many rows were in that? So there were 40 rows, I think it was. Yes, because it was a set of 4 rows, and then it was 20 times. So that's 80 rows, right? Okay, let's put his scarf back on, because he'll get cold otherwise. So let's put that on. So we had to do the maths, and I was saying, well, I think we probably need to do 6 or 8 blue rows, and then 2 white, 2 red, 2 white, to make up the pattern that I've got on this picture. So we will have to do it so it matches all the way along, so that so we've had to work out, and she's done the maths. We've done the maths, and she sent it to me on my WhatsApp as to how I would have to do it, how many rows altogether. I'm not sure whether it fitted the exact number of rows we've done on this, but it doesn't matter if the scarf's a bit longer. I hope you understand what I mean. So if the scarf's a bit longer, it doesn't matter. So that's what's got to go on one penguin, and the other penguin is pink hat and pink scarf. Now, of course, I don't know whether it's baby pink or it's cerise pink or what it is. It's going to be the pink that I've got the wool for. I've got some cerise pink and I've got baby pink, but I think cerise pink will look nicer. So my daughter and I decided we're going to make it cerise pink, because they haven't seen a picture of anything pink, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to make that cerise pink, but I'm going to do the blue and red and white one first, because I believe they're both going to the same family, and I want this pink scarf to be the same length as the red, white and blue one, and the hat the same size, not so, because I can always make it longer if I need to stripe it more. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the blue one first, and then the pink one. And I'm going to try and do whatever I can tonight, because the teacher who wants those ones is in school on Monday and Friday. And so tomorrow's Monday, if I can get them done, but I'm not gonna bust a gut to stay up all night to do it, because we still have Friday and we still have some more Mondays and Fridays before the end of term. And so, you know, that's what we've got to do. So some of the orders have already gone out. My daughter's done some for somebody she sits next to at Slimming World, and you know, lots of people. I've had the people. Somebody in Smiths on the Isle of Wight, who I was talking to. I saw a magazine, and I saw something in a magazine, but the magazine was sealed up, you know, in a bag, and you couldn't get inside. And I said, I want to know if that's a chocolate orange cover in the in that pattern. I said, but you know, we can't open it. Let's see. And she said, oh, I don't know. She said, what are you doing? And I showed her. She said, oh, I might like some of those. So there might be an order there, but I'm not sure again whether I'm going to be there before Christmas to do it. Then when I was going through one of the train stations, when I get the passenger assist, people helping me on and off the train, one of the ladies there, I was talking, I said, if I miss the train, I don't mind because I've got my knitting, and, you know, I always get a refund if I get delayed. And so she said, what are you knitting? So I showed her a picture of what I was knitting. And she said, oh, we could probably sell some of those around here. So I could, you know, be doing that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think, you know, I'll do what I need to do. For most of the customers are around here where I am now. And so I think I also want to make some little things for my little grandchildren. Couple of little cardigans and things. So, but I'm not busting a gut. I'm doing what I can do. You know, life is what it is, and sometimes life throws curveballs, and you can't do what you think you're going to do. And you know, I mean, curveballs were thrown, which is why I'm not on the Isle of Wight. But you know, we either back the curveballs off and throw them somewhere else, or we catch them and sink under them. So we're not catching them. You know, I've come to bat off the curveballs, and try and make a little bit of light entertainment on the way. So that's, you know, that's what it's all about. And in amongst that, I've what have I done? I've watched a lot of Christmas movies. It's great. And here there are big TVs. I don't have a huge TV screen like they do here, and so it's lovely. And I like to say, why are you not in the island? I'm not in the island because I'm helping out family members where life needs a little bit of help. Let's just say that. I'm not going into details because it's all personal part of our lives. Just to say that I'm away helping family, and I will be back when I go back. That's it. So who knows? I think I will go back to the island. I don't think I'm on the mainland forever. But you know, sometimes these things happen. I didn't want to let you down and not live stream. I'm happy to live stream, and family are happy for me to live stream. So I just thought, well, I will live stream what I can. I will do what I can, and help wherever I can. I'm just glad that I can help out, that I'm retired, and these things are, you know, happening. So that's why. Anyway, so I've been watching Christmas movies. It's been really nice for me. I've been, you know, I've done a little bit of cooking. I've been waited on a lot. I've got a lovely prawn salad downstairs waiting for me in a minute when I've finished, because I wasn't going to try and rush my food. I watched the Strictly results up till 8 o'clock, and then I knew I had to come and have a chat with all you lovely people. So I said, no, I'll have my lovely salad when I go down. Why did you not record the carnival this year? Have I not explained why I didn't record the carnival? Right, so anybody watching in who doesn't know, my live stream journey started in earnest when I was live streaming the carnivals on the Isle of Wight. And live streaming the carnivals because Visit Isle of Wight, who's supposed to market the island, doesn't believe in YouTube, doesn't believe in video, all those wonderful videos and showing the beautiful Isle of Wight off to the mainland. And while we're about it, some of you will know that Visit Isle of Wight don't really like me very much, because I actually, you know, talk about the fact that they actually don't show off the beautiful island in the way that they could. And this week I noticed somebody tagged me in the Island Echo report to say that 26% that the visitor numbers on the Isle of Wight have dropped by 26%. Now, Visit Isle of Wight is our marketing company that's supposed to market the island, and their visitor numbers are down, big time down. You know, there are factors that kick in, but, you know, showing off our beautiful island and all those beautiful carnivals and everything that happens would really be quite a good idea if you wanted to get people to the island. And of course, the person who sent me the article, I said, oh yes, and I expect the CEO sees it, you know, maybe not doing a photo opportunity, because everything that other people are doing about the island, the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight uses it as a photo opportunity, like it's them that's, you know, done anything good. Well, I can't remember what it said in the article, but he's trying to make out, you know, well, I think somebody needs to find the article and write. It's in Island Echo, and if somebody could find the article and copy the last bit where Will, instead of taking responsibility for not helping raise the visitor numbers, he's batting it off as though it's nothing to do with them, that the visit, you know. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. Kath said she could tell visitor numbers were down this, so they were down big time. And you know, there are lots of ways of marketing. I'm not a marketeer. I've never had any training. Well, you know, other than somebody who knows what they're doing told me how to do it. But there's lots of ways of marketing the island, and for free, and getting everybody to share all the beautiful things like the carnivals. So the question was, why did I not record the carnivals this year? Well, I started recording the carnivals back in 2016 because they were not being shown to the world, and I was so frustrated. My son taught me how to do it. So I went out in 2016, 2017, 2018, and what? I can't remember. When did COVID start? 20. So I recorded all the carnivals all through the summer on the Isle of Wight. So that was carnivals every week for the summer holidays, and sometimes 2 or 3 carnivals a week. Hello, Carol Ann, coming in. And I recorded those, live streamed them, and we had thousands of viewers watching the Isle of Wight. And I did it for the love of my island. I wasn't being paid or anything to do it. I just did it because I cared, and I was getting other people to share, because one of the ways to get the numbers up and to really make these things work is to hit the share button. So I would go out and I would live stream, and I would do a running commentary. Before the carnival started, I would go round, because when I first started the first carnival, I was squeezed in like this in the crowds, because we get loads of crowds, or you know, crowds watching the carnivals, and I was squeezed in trying to video, you know, little old me squeezed in there trying to video. And as we went through and I got bolder and bolder, I'd ask people if they could just move a bit, because I was live streaming to the world. So we had people from Australia watching in, we had Canada watching in, we had America watching in, and I would live stream like this. I would talk to them while I was streaming the carnivals, and ask everybody where they were coming in from, and then asking them to hit the share button. So we got thousands of views of our, you know, people watching our carnivals, and then I got nicknamed the Golivegranny, and then I had a mount with my camera in where it said Golivegranny on the back, and then people were making way for me in the carnivals in the following years. And you know, as I say, I would go round at the beginning of the carnival before it started and go and find out what floats were in the carnival, so that when it came along, I could say, oh, and this is, you know, whoever it is in the carnival, because otherwise they go by, and sometimes if they haven't labelled who they are, I can't tell the audience who they are unless I know. So I used to try and do some homework and try and do that. Didn't always get it right, but we had a lovely time. And this was before anybody much was live streaming, so it was fine, and I did that. Then as we progressed on, more and more people live streaming, And so I found it harder and harder to get a signal, because, you know, once lots of people are live streaming, it weakens the signal. So then I would start doing video rather than live stream, but it meant that I couldn't live stream to people across the world while I was actually doing it and have the conversation. But that didn't matter. But of course, I also I'm 74 years old, and you know, it's come to a time where perhaps I really don't want to be out there every you know, every week doing it. This is really what, well, apart from the fact that so in COVID we didn't have any carnivals, obviously. And then after COVID in 2022, I almost died of pneumonia. So obviously carnival videoing was not the top of my priority list. Getting me better was the top of the priority, which I did. And I feel very, you know, very much well, and as well as I ever will be, I think. You know, still the mobility not very good, but you know. But now what I do is I watch other people, because there are lots of people now who are doing videos and live stream, and that's brilliant, because I don't want to be the one out there doing it. I did it because it wasn't being done. And then all these other lovely people going out and doing it, so I can stay home and hit the share button. So Finley, did Finley come in? I didn't see Finley. He's saying, hi Finley, are you still decorating? I didn't see Finley come in, but hello Finley. Sam's saying, hi Lynn, from my friend Jean and Janet and Joyce and Pamela and Christine and Connie. Hello all of you lovely people coming in, watching us. So that's great. So yes, so you know, I don't have a burning desire to go out on a Saturday night and stand out maybe in the rain, which I've done. You know, I've stood in the torrential rain recording because I promised I would. The best live stream we ever did on number wise was the scooter ride out in 2018, and it was torrential rain. So on the bank holiday weekend, so the last weekend in August, lots of people come on their scooters to the Isle of Wight, and that is a good weekend for getting people to the island. And they come and they have a scooter rally, and then on the Sunday lunchtime they do a ride out from the bowling pavilion all along Ryde Seafront and way along the Esplanade and right round and back again. And so I promised that I would be out there doing it, and then it was for torrential rain. And because it was torrential rain, there weren't so many riders. You know, normally there's hundreds of riders, but there were not very many, and usually it takes at least half an hour or more for the parade to go by. On this particular day it was a 4-minute ride out. Just before the ride outs happened, my phone got wet and the camera shut down, and I thought, no, I can't. I've got to be quick, I've got to open the camera up, otherwise it'll be gone and I'll have missed it. Anyway, I managed to get the camera sorted out, and I stood under I've got a little blue tarpaulin, and I put it over my head like this. You can see at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm standing like this, and then I flip the camera around and you get 4 minutes of scooters going by in the torrential rain. But of course, because lots of the scooterists weren't riding because it was torrential rain, they were watching in, they saw my videos, my live stream, and they hit the share button, and we had umpteen scooter clubs on the island. And of course it only takes one of them to start sharing, and then the next one will see, and the next one will see. And I actually say to people, hit the share button, and then we'll get lots more people. And so we had 20,000 views in 24 hours. And yet, you know, the marketing department of Visit Isle of Wight thinks all this stuff doesn't work. What do they know? Not a lot. And what they do is actually tax lots of our businesses. They tax the businesses. They don't go and see the business people. They take them to court if they don't pay or can't pay. It's very unpleasant, very, very unpleasant. And you don't need to do that, because we could get all the local people videoing and sharing videos and promoting in a big time. You wouldn't need all that money. you know, and of course a lot of that money that is levied goes into the pocket of the CEO, the staff of Visit Isle of Wight, and Mo Aswat, who's the consultant that they paid £50,000 to. So, you know, it's not good. Anyway, let's move. Carol Ann's hoping to go to the Christmas tree celebration at Brighton next week. You'll try to, yes, please take a video, Carol. Take a video and tag me. I want to be able to share all those videos out. I don't think I'm going to be on the island to be able to do it myself. The Christmas Tree Festival, for those who don't know, is over in Brighton. It's a wonderful tradition that's happened on the Isle of Wight, and it has brought people from the mainland. It was a real pull. You know, people will come from the mainland to the Isle of Wight to see the trees, because it's recently been taken over by Diane and Emily, I think it is. Sorry if I've got that wrong. And I interviewed her the other day. Now I've forgotten. Is it Emily? I apologise. When I started going to live stream it, there were nearly 200 trees when Chris Goodman was running that. It started as a small Christmas tree festival, and like Topsy, it grew and grew. Emily, thank you, Kath. Sorry, my memory just went out the window there. Thank you. So the Chris Goodman had, I think he took it over from someone else, and then he ran it for years. And there were Christmas trees in about 7 venues. So there would be some in the big church, some in the Methodist church, some in the reading rooms, some in the children's Christmas trees would be in the library. And then there's all these different venues. And Kath lives over there in Brighton, so right on her doorstep. So you'll have to take some pictures for me, Kath, if I'm not back. If you're going, I presume you're going if you're there. Anyway, it was a wonderful thing. And when I first started doing it, I would go over, but I had to go over on it runs. I think it started in 1996. Thank you, Kath. Look, Kath's dropping us in the details there, or over on YouTube. She's popping the details in for me. So it started in 1996. And it grew and it grew, and it was such a pull that people would come over from the mainland over to see the Christmas Tree Festival. Well, when I started going, I wanted to do videos or live streams of every single tree. I think some of them I did as videos to start with. And so many people have put so much effort into their trees, and a quick photograph doesn't do it justice. And so on that first time I did it, I went over. Thank you, Susan. If I'm around, you'll go with me. I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think that's going to happen, Susan. So I'm just going to rely on other people to share, and then us share. So I would live stream each tree. I described every single tree out of about 200. I went up the tree, I would say what was on it. So, you know, there might be a knitting group, and they'd knitted all the stuff that went on their tree. I remember there being a decorator who'd made little paint pots and little paint pots and little ladders and all sorts of things. I mean, it's a great way to advertise your business if you've got a business on the Isle of Wight. There are some of the charities that do. I know the lifeboat men, they have a Christmas tree, and they have all little lifeboat men over it and all the information. There is so much information in that Christmas Tree Festival. It's not just a 5-minute wonder. No way is it. I think it started, I don't know whether it's on Thursday. I think it might be on Thursday. Is it Thursday, Friday? Oh, thank you, Kath. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it starts on Thursday. And the night before, they have a concert, a celebration concert to do with the hospice. Light a candle for, you know, in memory of people that have passed. And then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I went every day, because I could not in one day do all those trees. So I went every day to each of the venues, not each of the venues. I covered them off over you know, the 4 days, and took all those videos of the trees and described every single one as best I could, and as much information as I could, because it's amazing the work done. And then Chris Goodman decided 3 years ago, I think it was, or whenever, he decided that he wasn't going to do it anymore. He'd done it for many years, and it was time to hang up his boots. But my goodness, those boots were blooming big boots to fill. However, Diane and Emily have filled those boots, and they're doing an amazing job. And I interviewed Emily the other day. She came, we did a live stream, and she came, you know, I put her in the other half of the screen, and you know what, they've got some nice new ideas as well. Kath's telling us there, look, refreshments every day, carol concert on Wednesday the 7th, and lots of entertainment every day. It is amazing what goes on, and you know, there's just so much. But you know, I could not do justice to that Christmas tree festival by going on one day and just saying, well, here we are, this is it. So I went on every tree and described it. I must find all those videos because they're on Facebook, or they're on, some of them are on YouTube. They're not all together in the same place because I didn't, you know, wasn't, I think I perhaps videoed them more than live streamed. Some of them I live streamed, I think. I don't know. It's all a bit scattered. The wonderful tractor ride. Yeah, that's what Shane was talking about. So Cass saying, yes, there's a over there, you know, along the road there will be a whole load of tractors come along, a tractor parade. There's just so much. And I don't know, in the past they've done an outdoor nativity, you know, with grown-ups and children in it. I don't know if that's happening this year. I remember being there watching that one time, and it was bitterly cold, but I was staying to the bitter end, because I said, oh, but you know, one of the issues of me live streaming it was I'm a bus traveller, and buses out to the West White, very few and far between, and I think there were 5 a day. And I had to make sure that I managed to get on the last bus home, which was sort of like tea time, not even late, tea time. Hello, did you want me?
No, I thought I had Mum in here.
No, Mummy's not here. It's me live streaming. One of my granddaughters. Sorry, I lost my thread there. Just remind me what I was saying. Oh, yes. So I had to go over each day to do some, and then go back, and then I went back the next day to do some and back. So yes, I had to rely. After that, when I got more well known, they have shuttle buses, and some of the shuttle buses on some 1 or 2 years were provided by John's Club, and the people from John's Club live in Ryde, and they knew that I was going backwards and forwards on the bus. And it's quite a distance to the West White, and they said, would I like a lift? And then I actually was getting a lift there and a lift back, which was absolutely marvellous, because it gave me more time when I was actually there to go round and see all the trees. But it's just absolutely amazing. What I will do is I will try and find some of those old videos and push them out, you know, on my social media pages, so that you can see the amazing work was going on. But you know, I was absolutely delighted. So when Chris Goodman hung up his boots, the next year there was no Christmas tree festival, and I thought how sad that is, after it being built for so long, that it's not happening. Anyway, Diane and Emily stepped in, those big boots, they've filled those big boots, and I thought Diane and Emily were friends before, you know, were friends who came forward to do this, but they weren't. They were 2 individuals who both came forward and are now the team that are running this. So, you know, if you're on the island, do go and support them. It's, you know, it's just an amazing thing. So Carol's saying, do you remember there was a small tree celebration in a St. Clean church a few years ago? I don't actually. I don't remember that, Carol, but they go. But Cass saying it's pretty big this year. Yes, obviously it died off a bit. you know, between Chris giving it up and the others taking it on. But they are hello, Strict, and I've forgotten your real name, but hello. I know you. So it is pretty big this year, Kath is saying. I think, yes, it is, because I've seen the programme. You know, when I did the interview with Emily the other day, I had the programme. I haven't got it with me here, so I can't show you. But just Google it. It's Bryston Christmas Tree Festival. And it is amazing. And so it is something that, you know, Visit Isle of Wight could be really pushing that to get people over to the island. I'm not sure that they are. I will be very surprised, but, you know, I could be wrong. Somebody could tell me that they are, and I got it wrong. Anyway, so that's a bit of a catch up on most of that. Now, there was something else I think I was going to tell. Oh, yes. No. Was there? Oh yes, coming up on the train. I think I told you I had a bit of shenanigans this time. Well, I had shenanigans because I nearly missed a hovercraft, but then I didn't miss the hovercraft, and that was fine. And then I did. I arrived half an hour late, so that means I get a partial refund. I don't mind. I don't think I've done a journey yet where I haven't had a refund. Have I? I don't think I have. So I don't mind if I'm late, because I've got my knitting. I do my knitting. I meet lovely people. And but I will not, out of choice, come do an evening journey again, because that's right. That's what I was going to tell you. It leaves a lot to be desired, the passenger assist. So those of you who watch me regularly will know that I pop up and down quite a lot from, you know, mine to the mainland to family, and I book passenger assist so that they can put ramps up and get me on and off the train, and so that you know, that's very helpful. So whenever I've booked my train, I then ring the passenger assist and they book it. You know, they book it all through. If I'm late, if the first train gets me there late for any reason, then at that station they ring the next station and say, well, she's not on that train, but she's going to be on this train. You know, so they normally, that's what happens. I did wonder how it would work in the evening. Well, I can tell you, not nearly as well as in the day. So I usually change it. I usually change it to the same two stations every time. And they're big stations, and they usually have a lot of staff. And that's part of the reason why I make sure I change at those stations. Anyway, obviously the evening staff is not as well staffed in the evening as it is in the daytime. And I got to one of the stations and I was getting off, and they didn't seem to be very bothered to be there to help me off. I'm sort of standing there looking and saying, well, you know, I actually need somebody. And that guy, he was just going off duty. I don't know whether he was the one who should have been doing it, but he was going off duty, and he was more interested in catching his own train to go home than helping me to catch my train. So anyway, he did help me. He helped me off, and he took me to where I connect to the next train. And I get all my steps in doing this because it's quite a walk on these stations. You know, they're not little stations, so there's quite a walk from one place to the next. So I make sure I do my body magic. Anyway, is it the same place where they did the Scarecrow Festival? My friend took me. It was so good. Right. Oh, sorry. So you were. Carol's going to this. Oh, the Christmas Tree Festival. Right. Okay. Different festival. And so, so this guy, he then handed me over to somebody on the station. And of course, I now don't know what time my trains are, because we've not connected with the train I was supposed to connect, where I had the itinerary and all the times. I now don't know the times of the trains that are coming. I just have to do guesswork or ask the people who are helping me. So that he handed me over to this guy who really didn't look like he wanted to be bothered to help me on a train. And I'd said to the first guy, oh, before we change stations, how long before the train have I got time to go to the toilet? Because it's much easier, as you can imagine, to go to the toilet in a station that's not moving about than it is to go on a moving train, especially when you don't stand as well as you used to. So any sort of mobility issues on a train, you're going like this. Not the easiest thing of trying and go to the loo. Well, I know why the guy didn't want me to stop and go to the loo on that platform. It's because he wanted to go and catch his train. So he took me past the train. He said, well, we'll go over to the platform and you could go to the toilet over there. Well, that would have been all right if the guy who he handed me over to knew where the toilet was, right? Don't forget, I told you these are big stations and the platforms are very long. And I asked this guy, who really wasn't very bothered, because I think he was probably going home sometime soon. And I said to him, well, where's the toilet? He said, oh, I think it's down there. Not, oh, let me help you, madam. Let's see if we can find where it is. So he sent me down there. Well, down there was a very long station. And I went all the way down there to find out it wasn't down there at all. And I didn't know how long I got before the train came in. I didn't want to miss the train, but I needed the toilet. And when I need the toilet, I need the toilet. It's not a debate, a managing, thing for debate. So I walked all the way down, no toilet. Then I came all the way back. And I said to him, well, it wasn't down there. And he just laughed. And I was not impressed. Then I had to walk all the way this way, and it was right up that end. Managed to go to the toilet. And fortunately, I was still in time to catch a train. So when I came back, I said, well, it was up there, not there. And he just grinned and just thought it was amusing. But I didn't. But I wasn't going to have an argument with him because it wasn't worth it. So anyway, let's have a look. Sam's going to be helping his friend Jean to put the Christmas tree on Tuesday, their Christmas tree. Ailey shared something. I'm not quite sure what Ailey's sharing. Is that a Christmas tree thing? For a small island, we have some great things going on all year round. Absolutely we do, Carol. And isn't it a shame that Visit Isle of Wight don't tell the world about what goes on our island? Because I'm sure that our visitor numbers wouldn't drop 26% if they were telling the world what was going on our island. I am sure that that would make a difference. I know our ferry fares are, they're being debated as they could be lower. But if there's so many attractions going on our island, we would get more visitors, I am sure. Because actually, when you think about it, did you know we have over 50 festivals on our island? I couldn't believe it, and I've really got to write them down because that's what I was told. One year we have over 50 festivals. So if you think about it, we have Christmas tree, we have more than one Christmas tree festival. We have harp festivals, we have literary festivals. We have, what else do we have? We have music festivals, we have postbox festivals and all sorts of festivals. And apparently there's over 50 of them on the island. Scarecrow Festival. Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you coming in there on Facebook. So yes. Lots and lots of things on our beautiful island, and we need to tell the world. And one of the best ways of telling the world, walking festivals, that's right, Susan, yes, come on, that's right, you prompt me with all the other things, because I can't remember, but, if we all, and I mean, we could market the island without all this great money that they're taking off all our business people, because you could do it, the people power could do it. Is it the Isle of Wight ferries keep... Well, the ferries are, people say they're expensive, but if you're coming on a holiday here, you can get a lot of ferries cheaper if you book through some of the companies who've got links with cheaper ferry fares. I'm not saying they're not expensive, some of them are, but there are ways of doing it. Or why not have an adventure and come to the island by train? I do it the other way. I go and I have an adventure. It's all part of my adventure. And, come to the island. I get, my fare to Wiltshire, including the hover travel, and so I do the hover, and then I do the train, and then I go I'm in Wiltshire. Now, I'm not going to identify exactly where I am. So that I often get for £30, just over £30. If you get a rail card, and all these things. There's a lot of things that play out, you know, and you don't, everybody says, oh, the ferries are so expensive. They can be, but there are options, you know. On Sunday, if Pete gets to the final on Strictly, you will eat your socks. Sam's going to eat his socks. We've just got on to Strictly. So those of you in the UK, those of you not in the UK might not realise we have something called Strictly Come Dancing, which is runs from September through till December, and there are some professional dance people, and they train celebrities, you know, some of the TV celebrities and sports celebrities. They train them to dance, and each week somebody gets knocked out, and Pete has been getting kept in week after week. Pete is not, but he works his socks off, and he works hard, but he is not necessarily the best dancer, but the public keep keeping him in, and that's why Sam's going to eat his socks. Well, I hope they're clean socks, Sam, that you're going to eat. So let's have a look. Right, so Sam's going to eat his socks. Susan says she has friends who have come from the mainland and use the trains to come to the island to stay. Make it part of the adventure. If it's too expensive to come on the ferries, on the other ferries, you know, do what I do and get a cheap. You know, I just look for cheap train fares. And if you book it all in one, so I just go on there and I type in, you know, where I'm leaving from. So I'm leaving from Ryde, and where I want to go to, and I put that in, and then it works it out, and it tells you what journeys you can have. And then if you've got a rail card, you put that in, and rail cards bring the prices down. You can get all sorts of rail cards. I used to have a senior citizen rail card. Now I've got a disabled rail card. The one was cheaper to buy than the other one. I think it takes the same amount of, I'm not sure. So Ailey's saying, go live. Oh, Andrew's just come in. Oh, she wants me to show Andrew the penguins because Andrew loves penguins. Here we are. Look, there we are. Penguins with chocolate oranges in them. Because Andrew's he loves penguins. You fancy coming to the island and would get a plane to Southampton and then a ferry to the island? Well, there you see. Absolutely. Let us know if you do, Andrew. It will be lovely. Well, if Andrew does come, we will have a get together. When Hazel came from Australia, we made sure that we had a get together. You know, you don't come to all that way and then not meet up with the Golivegranny gang if you can. Let's have a look. Andrew's saying abroad Strictly Come Dancing is called Dancing with the Stars, apparently. Yes, I've seen that. And Susan's saying she thinks it is in America and Canada as well. Do you get an OAP discount on the ferries? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But when I go on, so there's the car ferries. You can go as a passenger on the car ferry, or you can go on the catamaran, or you can go on the hovercraft, or the red jet. The passenger ones are the hovercraft, the red jet, and the catamarans. And then we've got car ferries as well. So there's all those different things. And if you're a foot passenger, I know you can get the discount. I know that when I book my journeys, I just book it all the way through. So there we go. But we could sort it out. You know, we are the marketing department for the island. We'll give you information where we can find it. So Carol's talking about cheesy socks. Sam's socks. He's going to eat his socks. Chris is amazing. He's Ailey's favourite. So she's talking about one of the contestants on Strictly Comes Dancing, and Chris is actually a blind comedian. And he went blind when he was 22. He's now 47. He's having a fun time. He's having an exhausting time, but he is doing so well. And the professional dancer who's training him, wow, she's got some skills in order to teach a blind guy, because they're not in hold all the time. So she's not got hold of him all the time while he's dancing. So he goes and dances not in hold. Then sometimes they have extra dancers and he's got to know where those people are and all that. It's just amazing what they have been doing. But actually the standard of all of them is so high. Yes, Susan's saying there's certain discounts for different people. And I think lovely penguins, Andrew's saying, Susan's saying mine too. I think she means, I think you mean Chris is your favourite. So she's put, are you tagging Diane? Okay. Diane is amazing, and the extra, no, not Diane, no. I think you've put another Diane there. I think Diane Buswell is Diane, who's the person teaching Chris. Diane O'Keefe, I think, is one of our viewers, isn't she? Diane is amazing, and the extra dancers last night was wicked, absolutely. Oh yes, she's saying yes, it was Chris being her favourite. And Ailey thinks that Chris is from the same place as Cilla Black, where Cilla Black came from. I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know. Might well be. So what else was I going to tell anything else? Oh yes. So I bought this little would you try the Slimming World meal boxes, Lynn? No, I wouldn't, Andrew. And the reason being because Slimming World is Andrew has gone to Slimming World. I do Slimming World. There are lots of different ways of doing it. You can buy Slimming World meals ready done from Iceland and pop them in your microwave or your cooker, or you can just use their recipes that are on the app, which is what I do. Now they're doing a Slimming World meal box where they actually send you a recipe and they send you all the ingredients in a box that arrives at your house. Well, that is convenient for people who don't have time to cook them themselves, but it's an expensive way of doing it. I get it, and some people are pushed for time, so it's easy to order the box, the recipe comes, the ingredients will come, and you just cook it. To me, I much prefer looking in the cookery books or on the app, on the recipe app, and choosing something and making it up myself from just getting my vegetables and things from the greengrocers or from the supermarket. It keeps my costs down. But I get why people would go, if you're working, you see, I'm retired, don't forget, I've got lots of time on my hands. Time to knit, time to promote the island, time to do things, whatever we need to do. And sometimes I don't have enough time left because I'm doing all those things. And I love it. And I'm enjoying my retirement very much. But I do understand if you've got a job and you've got a family and you've got this and that and the other going on, you haven't got much time. Having it all come in a box to you is pretty good idea, or just getting some of the actual Slimming World meals. Again, you see, I don't buy the Slimming. I have occasionally had a Slimming World meal from Iceland, but again, they're expensive and I can make that much easier. Carol's saying she loves the Slimming World meals from Iceland when you're having a busy week. Absolutely, yes, you see. So Carol is another one who's using Slimming World things. And I often meet Carol when I'm on my way to Iceland on my way to Iceland and get, but I don't tend to buy the Slimming World meals because I make it all up from my, and it makes, if I make it myself, it makes my pension go further, but I've got the time to do it. But Andrew's saying he's ordered 2 boxes so far. It's all right. Sometimes the meal choices are rubbish, so I don't bother ordering. He loves the cauliflower mac and cheese Slimming World meal from Iceland, and also the Slimming World chips and roast potatoes from Iceland. Well, again, you see, I do my own chips and I do my own roast potatoes, and I do a lovely cauliflower macaroni, cauliflower cheese, or a macaroni and cheese. So in the app there are some lovely recipes. One of the things I now use a lot of, well, 2 of the things, well, more than 2. I use a lot of the low-fat Greek yogurt. That goes in a lot of meals. I use a lot of quark, which I never bought before. And so when I asked in the supermarket, where's the quark? Nobody knew where it was because nobody much uses it. But quark is good for putting in a lot of the recipes. And fromage frais, but not the flavoured fromage frais. When I asked for fromage frais, somebody sent me to flavoured flavoured ones, and I wanted to put it in savoury recipes, so I didn't think that was quite right. So there we go. your diet is seafood and eating. Yes, Ailey's on a seafood diet. She sees food and she eats it. Now, in a minute, I'm going down to have a prawn salad. That's waiting for me. Sometimes there's a special promotion on the Slimming World. Absolutely. Kath is saying hello to Ailey there. They're all chatting with each other. Best way is cook from scratch. Yes, the cheapest way is to cook from scratch. And you know, if I cook from scratch, I know exactly what I'm putting in my meal, because of course I have some food intolerances, and it's very, you know, sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with everything that's in a meal. And also sometimes they change the recipes, because one of my sons, his fiance is a celiac, so she's gluten-free, but she will become seriously ill if she has anything that she's intolerant to. I have an intolerance to wheat, things like that, but I don't get ill in the same way. I get a bit of a skin irritation, but she gets seriously ill. So they have to be very careful about what they do. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. And he was telling me that often, you know, they buy a lot of food, but he has to scan. He has to look at what's the ingredients practically every time they shop, because sometimes something that they've had that doesn't contain gluten, or whatever it is, suddenly the recipe gets changed. And unless you are watching it very carefully, which they have to do because her health depends on it, it can be seriously, you know, bad. I mean, also on Slimming World, I've noticed that some of the things have changed sometimes. So here we are. Look, there used to be a Slimming World deal at Iceland, and it was buy so many meals and get a free multi-pack of Muller Light. What you have to do with the Muller Light too is check, because the different supermarkets have different deals, and they have different combinations of the Muller Light. I love the Muller Light yogurts, but some of them are half a sin and some of them are 1 sin, and you really have to check it. But also, sometimes there's a pot that's 140 grams, or sometimes it's 160 grams. And I was looking at one of them. The 140 pot was half a sin. The 160 pot was a whole sin. And if you multiply that up, you know, we're allowed 15 sins in a day. Well, the women are. I don't know what the men are. I think it's different for the men. But the women are allowed 15 sins a day. And I told you right at the beginning of the broadcast, I showed you my chocolate orange here. One of these is 2 sins, right? And I do like to have some chocolate. So I have chocolate, but I stick within my sins. That's why some of the chocolate orange is still there. Let's have a look. The free from ranges are generally so much more expensive as well, and that's not really not fair to people who have a food intolerance and have to buy that food, as they may not have the money to do that. Exactly, Susan. Exactly that. So Caroline saying, do I use celeriac instead? I have used celeriac, yes. It was something I didn't even know what it was until I started Slimming World. Celeriac, I started using. Fennel, I've started using. That nice. I like those different things. That's good. You had the same with Caroline. Said she had the same with her husband. She used to check the labels as he was allergic to gluten. Absolutely. So just like my future daughter-in-law. Good evening, says Ian. How's everyone doing? In watching the snooker, Trump's playing well. Okay. Well, I hope that's going all right. We haven't been watching that. We've been discussing Strictly Come Dancing. So those of you who are watching Strictly Come Dancing, who's your favourite to win? Somebody said Chris. I was very surprised to see Tasha in the dance-off tonight, but she did get through. It must have been so tense when they were all there. And Shane's gluten-free as well. Oh, Susan's saying, not sure she saw my query what the quark is. Quark is it's a form of, it's sort of a cheesy thing. Can somebody help me with the definition of quark? It's things like quark that I would put into some of my savoury meals, and sometimes in a cheesy thing. But quark, I don't have to count. That's free. It's got no sins. Quark and the plain fromage frais. I don't know if anybody can help with that. Somebody might be able to help. Let's have a look. Did I miss any more? Sorry, yes, I missed your comment about quark there. Best way to cook is from scratch, Richard. That's right. Change in diet with more wait, hang on. Oops, hang on. Change in diet with more protein loss. Oh, so Richard said change in diet with more protein, lost 12 pounds last 3 months, just increasing veggie protein in diet. Excellent, Richard. That's well done. So Susan's saying she knows we talked about it when we had lunch, but was trying to tell Mum but couldn't remember. So talking about the quark, Richard's put it in there. Quark is a low-fat cheese made with skimmed milk. There you go. Look, absolutely. And sometimes I'm trying to think what I used it for. I've used, things where you can mix it in instead of, say, I think I've used some of it instead of a bit of mayonnaise, but not a lot, and mix that in with some of my milk. I can't remember because mayonnaise has sins in it, and I don't want to give up too many sins. Ian's saying I'm looking younger tonight. It must be because you're looking. Maybe it is. I don't know. There we go. It's like a smooth cottage cheese. That's right. That's what it is. Shane's just reminding us about the Tractor Christmas run for Saturday. Excellent. And Susan saying, thank you, Richard, for the explanation. Kath saying she would love Chris to win. The public voting are trying to keep Chris and Pete in, I think, but the judges will never vote Tasha or Sarah out unless they both end up in the dance-off. That's right, and that's the only way it would. I mean, Sarah is absolutely amazing, but didn't she look terrified tonight when it came down, when they were announcing the who was in the dance-off? So Sarah was there with Montel, that's right, wasn't it? Sarah and Montel, was it? Oh no, it was Montel and oh, I know Sarah looked absolutely terrified, and then when the other one was announced that went out, she realised she got in. But it's so difficult, isn't it? Because they're glad that they got through, but they don't want the others, it's horrible that the others have gone out. It's not a nice situation. So Carol is saying you can use the quark in a sauce. That's right. Sarah and Montel were the last two couples to be decided. That's right. Yes, that's right. It was Sarah and Montel. That's right. And Montel was put in the dance off. So Sarah's standing there like this, looking terrified. They both were. And it's so sad because there's such good dancers. When you get to that level, there's such good dancers. It's really hard when they go out. And I did feel sorry for Montel because I think she is a better dancer than Pete, but the public like Pete. And, the public get to do the voting. So there we go. What did you think of Shirley's outfit? I was a bit confused as to who she was supposed to be. I think it's a character. I don't really know. But so those of you who haven't watched Strictly, this week was musicals week, and they were all doing things to musicals. Good night, Ian. Thank you. So I wasn't quite sure who she was Mrs. Trunchbull. So who is Mrs. Trunchbull? That's not a character I know. And where's that from? Jane will be dressed up for the tractor run. So where is Trunchbull? I think I miss it. And sometimes, you see, my hearing's not as great as it used to be. And I don't like having the TV up too far in my family's house because their hearing is, they're not in the same room, but I don't like to have it on too loud so that it disturbs them. So I don't know. So I don't know who Mrs. Trunchbull is and where she's from. And who was Anton supposed to be? Because I was a bit confused because I thought he was. Shirley was Trunchbull in Matilda. All right, the horrible teacher. I could hardly recognise her. I know, it was amazing, wasn't it? I haven't seen Matilda, so that's why. And I don't know the story of Matilda, so that was why. It was really. She was really hard to recognise. Roald Dahl's Matilda. Thank you. Ian remembers I like sunflowers. Yes, I certainly do. That's it. And so was Anton. Yes, I thought he was Joseph from the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, but then I thought they said something else. But anyway, I thought he was Joseph. And then who was Motzi? Motzi looked, you know, Motzi. What was she, and what was Craig? Craig was it the bearded lady or something? From where's that from? It was Tess trying to be funny, saying he was a family member. Oh, right. Well, maybe that's what I thought. I thought she'd said something, and then I didn't hear what she said, so I thought it would be another character. But they didn't make it very clear that he was Joseph. I thought as he came on, I thought he was, you know, I saw the outfit, and I thought, oh, that's Joseph. Because I saw Joseph in the West End many, many, many years ago when it first came out, I think, when I was, you know, quite young. Anton is... Motzi was Dreamgirl, so you say I don't even know Dreamgirl. I don't know very much, do I? Craig was a bearded lady. So is that's a musical, is it, as well? I don't know. I'm sort of not very good on these things. But there you go. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting fun, and of course, what an exhausting week for the people taking part, because I think Dreamgirl is a film. Oh, right, okay. I mean, it was musicals week, so it's obviously got to be some sort of musical. Kath saying, yes, Anton Joseph, Craig bearded lady from The Greatest Showman. Oh, right, Greatest Showman, and Motzi, one of the Dreamgirls. So the Dreamgirls must be a musical as well, but I haven't seen. Yeah, there we are. Showman, Greatest Showman, Susan saying, and Kath saying that as well. So let me think. So it's going to be a busy knitting week for me. A busy knitting week, a busy, you know, doing my bits to help out family where I can. And I don't know when I will be back on the island is the answer. I don't know anything much. I know that I'm with family for Christmas. And I know I'll be seeing all my family. When I say all my family, I mean my children and all the bits, that bit of the family, my children and their children and their partners. When you finish broadcast, I sent you a private message. Okay, I'll check that up. Shane saying, what is it like to be a teacher? I've finished my teach. Well, I haven't finished my teaching career, have I? Because I was a teacher for 30 years. But now I still teach, but I teach grown-ups how to knit or to craft or to do other things or to broadcast or whatever. It's great fun. It's great fun. The best bit about being a teacher is actually doing the work, the teaching, rather than all the paperwork that they introduced. And that was horrible. You know, I was an old school teacher. You know, we were taught to teach a certain way, and then they brought in all these fancy, airy, fairy ideas that don't work, you know, and this numeracy hour and the literacy hour, and I was nearly in tears trying to teach them because they were horrible. I didn't enjoy it, and how could I partake my knowledge if I wasn't enjoying doing it? Because, you know, teaching is all about having, well, in my world, teaching was about having fun, because I was teaching, you know, I know when you get to higher level and you're doing O levels, I'm not sure how much fun you're supposed to have then, but I taught the little children, and if you can teach them and have fun, they learn better. So there you go. Oh, yes, and before I go, this little guy came with me from my home, but we seem to have, if you look on my Facebook page, on the Golivegranny Facebook page, on my header, you will see that some very naughty elf on the shelf type elves have entered the house. They are in the house, and they have had fun making a lot of mess on the kitchen worktop, which is obviously the shelf. And they've been making angel patterns in the flour. Would you believe it? So they've been a bit naughty, and I wonder, and they have been having a naughty time, Heather. And my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, said to me, how did she phrase it? She phrased it in a way that I didn't have to fib. I can't remember how she phrased the question. I've forgotten how it was, but it was a way, phrasing the question where I actually could answer without giving, I mean, they're all old enough to know. But yes, I think we're going to have a few. My daughter and I were, pondering over certain things last night. Kath loves a bit of elfish mischief, yeah. Well, do you know what? It put a smile on some faces, and that's what life is all about, isn't it? When we thought we'd do this, no, not me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me at all. But when, maybe it must have been a dream that my daughter and I had. When we were having this discussion in a dream that didn't really happen, we thought, what on earth have we let ourselves in for? But you know what? There was a smile. And there was a smile where there hadn't been smiles for a little while. So that was good. If it's just about naughty elves, playing with, there may be some playing with toilet rolls coming. There may be some, I'm not going to give the game away. Watch my Facebook page and you'll find out. But last night we had the idea, and then we thought, oh my goodness, what have we let ourselves in for? But there are lots of ideas out there, and a bit of elfish mischief. Oh, elfish mischief. That's a bit hard to say. Yes, a bit of elfish mischief is not going to be a bad thing, I think. Ailey does teaching. She teaches people with special needs arts, crafts and knitting, and that's wonderful, Ailey. You're doing a good job up there in Scotland. Right, folks, I'm getting hungry, and I know that there is a prawn salad down waiting for me that my daughter has prepared for me. Here's one she prepared earlier. So I'm going to head off. Also, I need a drink. Can you hear when my throat is getting a bit dry now? And don't forget, I've got some penguins. My granddaughter wants me. She'd quite like me to finish the other ones by tomorrow, but then we decided that actually next week is Friday is okay. So I'm going to go for Friday. Then there's two others she needs. I didn't show you this one. This is a different snowman. Look, this snowman is a melting snowman. Again, he's got a chocolate orange in him, but he's a melting snowman. And when I see this melting, so they want two like this. But again, the two like this are going to the same people. Now, I made this with shiny wool. I don't know if you can see it's shiny, the wool. The scarf's not. The scarf is plain, but that's shiny. When I came to make the second one, I'd got some shiny wool, but it's not as thick as this shiny wool. So it's not making such a nice snowman as this. It's thin. So then I was saying to my daughter, oh dear. So my daughter went and found some wool that she'd acquired when her mother-in-law passed, and it was in a cupboard. And she went to see if we got any shiny there, because I've been trying to get it. No, I've been looking for it to see if I can order it, and I don't think Helen's got it over Isle of Wool on the island. So I don't think that it could go. So what I decided, I've got a nicer white. It's thicker. I've got one that's thicker, but not shiny. So I can make two matching snowmen with the plain white that's not shiny. And then what I will do is give them shiny scarves instead. That's what I'm going to do. But when I said I'm melting, years ago, my children had, they were like a little cube. and one of them was a snowman, and I think one of them was a ghost or something. And you threw them on the floor, down on the floor. I don't know if any of you remember this. You threw them down on the floor, and the snowman would say, "I'm melting." I can't say it so well because my voice is quick. I'm melting. And you know that. So whenever I say something about I'm melting, or I see a melting snowman, it always reminds me of those. Used a lot in. Wait a minute, hang on. Oops. Right. So Ailey saying thank you, Lynn. Kath saying night, Lynn. Lovely to see you. Go and eat. Yes, I must go and eat any minute now. It makes a very good sauce, Quark. Thank you. Used a lot in Germany. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. And Trunchbull out of Matilda. She's a nasty bullying teacher. Well, I was not like her at all. I was far from that. I was quite the other way, and a very encouraging teacher, because people learn best when they're in a happy and nice, kind environment. So there we go. I'm going to end on that. So that's what I've got to. So I've got the melting snowmen to do, but I'm not going to stay up all night doing them. I'll do them in due course this week, and then they will all go out and raise lots of pennies. And then I expect later in the week she'll probably bring me some more orders and say, "Oh, well, can we have this or can we have that?" So what I will do is I will take a picture of the other snowmen and the other penguins when they're done and put them on my Facebook page, because by the time I talk to you next time, they should be with the new owners of the people who want to order them for Christmas. So there we go. And there's one here that's just like a bobble hat, and that's just a quick reminder. The big knit, which is the smoothie campaign, the big knit campaign. I've forgotten. Oh dear, I've forgotten the numbers. I saw today how many million of the little hats that go on the smoothie bottles they want, and those are the ones that raise money for AIDS UK. And if we do a collection on the Isle of Wight and keep it on the Isle of Wight, all that money will go to AIDS UK Isle of Wight to be used on the island for our local people. So that's what I will be promoting, but we've got till June. That's not a rush job this side of Christmas. We've got till June, but I did see it was something like, so many million, but they've already had several 100,000 in already. People have already started knitting and sending them in. So that's good. Just before we go, Ailey saying my grandmother used to have a lot of different plastic snow globes that she made back in the 60s and 70s. You used to shake the snow globe. Oh, they were wonderful, weren't they? You could shake it and then watch the snow down. So I'm not going to watch snow because it's not snowing. It has been raining here today, and then there was a bit of sunshine today. Yesterday was a horrible grey day. Don't know what tomorrow is. Bearded Lady from the Grotesque Showman. Yes, that's it. We've done that one. Oh, it's 15,000 hats. What, that they've had already? I thought it was higher than that. I got an email today, I think, but I can't look at the emails while I'm on here to you, because otherwise you'll all disappear. I'm going to disappear now. Dream Girls Modern Musical. Thank you, Richard. Okie dokie. Right. I'm going to go get a drink. Going to go and have my lovely salad that my daughter has prepared for me, and then I think we'll have a bit of TV time together before we go to bed. Night night everybody, thanks for joining me, and I will see you all again soon. And Shane's just had his flu jab and his COVID jab. Well done. That's it, keep them all up. Bye everybody, see you soon, take care. That's a total. A1 said it's 15,000, so not sure. Oh right, okay, I think it's more than that, so maybe that's not quite up to date, but I might be wrong. Susan, I can message you later because I can look it up. If you have Alexa, ask it how many days until Christmas. Right. It's fun. Good night from Inver Gordon. Thanks again, Lynn, for coming to chat to us, and thank you for coming to chat with me as well. Night night everybody. All being well, I will see you next Sunday. From here maybe, or from somewhere else. Who knows what the future holds. Bye. Whoops. I'm trying to end the broadcast and it's not happening. It's